site, you can do the streaming immediately to the server, so that you can have a very quick editing or quick, broadcasting very soon with this kind of a service. So we have another model, X180 to X160. I think it's here. This camera, comparing to the X200, is bigger. Maybe suitable for some studio or shooting some program is also possible. So the good thing is they have a 25 times optical zoom, which is the best among all our camera. And then they are supporting a lot of different formats. If you are shooting in the MPEG-2, if you are shooting in the XADC or AVCHD or DV, this camera all supporting. And then this camera also using the S/S card. S/S card in Sony is a very reliable media, so that you don't need to worry about the media cases. Sometimes when you are shooting the SD card, maybe SD card comparing to the S/S card, sometimes it will be easier or lose the file or some kind of problem. The S/S card is a very stable card. Yeah, so this is the X180 to X160. If you're looking for the traditional camera, but you are looking for 4K quality, then this Z50 is one of the good choices. They're using the 1-inch sensor and shoot 4K, but not to very high, slow mode. For example, for this camcorder, because of 123, if you are recording on 24p, that means you can have a 5 times slow mode. So in some documentary or in some program, maybe you can utilize this kind of second life slow as well. Another one we just launched this year is called the NX5R. A lot of customers maybe still remember the NX5, maybe talking about 3 or 4 years ago. So this is one of the successor of the NX5. So we call it the NX5R. So it is a 3 CMOS camcorder. If you are look, for example, I don't need the 4K, I just need the traditional professional model as well. So if you are talking about the outlook, it is very, very similar. That means maybe if I put it side by side, by your eyes spot, it is not easy to define. So one of the key differences is, for the X70, it is not default by 4K. We can upgrade to 4K later if you need it. But for this new 2 camcorder, it is coming with the 4K. So it is a 4K time model already. So this is one of the key differences. And then we have something, we're putting quite a lot of resources to do that, is to improve the autofocus speed and also this kind of related technology. So for the X70, of course, a lot of customers like it because it's quite compact, and then the picture quality is good using the 1-inch sensor. And then we have the SDI. If you need to connect it to some kind of professional equipment, X17 also a good choices. But some customers also mentioned that the speed of the focus is not as fast as they expected. Yeah. So that for the new model, we have a very improvement about the autofocus speed. So you will find that not only talking about our 2 models, we have another consumer model called the FDR A700. We launched at the same time. Basically, they're using the similar technology. Yeah. So you may want to know what's the differences between these two and also the consumer one. So for the consumer one, they don't have the SDI. They cannot supporting the streaming service. They also don't have the professional audio. So if you are looking for the professional audio, if you need the SDI as well, we're using another technology. We call it the face detection. Face detection is not it's a face, it's a PHASE. And then, so we're using the contrast autofocus, and also we're using the face detection autofocus. We put it together. So we say that it is a hybrid, because we're using 2 technology together to make the autofocus more faster and also accurate. So this is what we are doing. So that we have some kind of improvement. So basically, you can using this screen to touch and then to change your focus. And then when we are talking about the autofocus object, we have coverage. When you are shooting something, we coverage around 84%. So there's 84% of the object inside your footage can be autofocused very accurately. And then we can using the touch screen, and then also we can customize. If you are shooting something that you already know what you are shooting, and then what is the direction, how they move. Then you can set in the camcorder to make the autofocus even more accurate. So what is the setting? So we can setting, for example, talking about the subject tracking. Can be wide and also narrow. What means the narrow and what means the wide? Wide means in the depth there will be moving. For example, the object is coming from the very far and then coming to the coast. So we call it this is a wide. If the object is moving horizontally, so in your footage, the object is moving like that instead of this one. So this one we call it the narrow. So they will change the autofocus to different objects. Lock on means we lock to something. For example, today we are shooting in the field, someone, and then on the street. You want to focus just the actor, so someone pass by will not means to change the focus to other object. So it is also possible. So we can choose the sensitivity. That means do we need to switch between different objects, or we focusing on one object? This you can choose also by yourself. So with these two factors, we have the measures, so that you can have a different situation, so you can change your setting to make your autofocus. So today I think I will introduce some new camera, and then we have also a new switcher. We have some new firmware upgrade coming very soon. So taking this opportunity, I want to introduce this kind of features as well. So later on, I think so here we also have a summary or recap in the local language, so you can easier to understand. But just for my presentation, in case you have any questions, you can also feel free to ask. Yeah. So this is today's topics. So I will have a quick sharing about the camera. If you are familiar with Sony camera, maybe you know that we have many models. For those not very familiar with Sony camera, maybe you will have a question. So, and then I will focus on two new models. The model name is called the PSW-Z19 and also the HX-NX80. This is these two new models. So I will talk about this new model more. And then the last one, that way we will have a switcher. So I will talk about the firmware 2.0 as well. So if you are going to have a camera, I mean for your job, so I think Sony definitely is one of the brands you can consider. One of the reasons is I think Sony is the one who can provide a very wide range of the professional camcorder to our customers. No matter you want to have a big one, small one, large format sensor one, or the traditional professional camcorder, we also have. So this is a very roughly talking about part of our camcorder. Actually, we have even more higher brand, talking about some cinema shooting, or for the studio using also have. But for many customers, those is popular professional camcorder. So that today we have two new members, which will be coming, starting the shipment in December. That's we are talking more details. In some customer maybe so many cameras. So what is the differences? Actually, we classify our camcorders based on their specification and also the usage. The one of them we call it the large format sensor camcorder. Like the FS7 Mark II and also the FS5 over there. So this kind of camera, actually the sensor size is bigger. So traditionally, if you know that professional camcorder, maybe the sensor size is talking about 1/3 inch or ½ inch this size. But for the large format sensor camcorder, most of them is using the Super 35mm sensor. So the sensor size is much bigger than the traditional one. So if you are shooting some kind of want to have some slow-mo, because most likely this professional camcorder, they may not have the slow-mo. Normally it's maybe 1080, 60p, 1080, 50p. This can have 120. If you're recording on 24p, that means you can have a 5 times slow-mo. So if you are shooting something, if you want to have good quality slow motion, then this camera is also one of good features. So NX5R doesn't have. Yeah, NX5R is a 1080, 60p.
HD quality, but
Yeah.
it is only 4K.
This is also have the 4K. Yeah, we have the 4K recorder. So yeah, quite a lot of customer choosing this one. But if you are talking about the zoom, NX5R is better. NX5R have a 20 times optical zoom. This is a 12 times optical zoom. This is 18 times with we have a technology called a clear image zoom. So they will make your optical zoom become better. But it is not optical. For the NX5R, 20 times is optical zoom. We also have the clear image zoom. Then your 40 times optical zoom can turn to 40. Yeah, this is also possible. And then maybe you can see the quality. For example, when we are doing the zoom, right? So you see that is a wide and tele. So we can go to the menu, and then we can choose the zoom set. So that is optical zoom only. So you can change to the clear image zoom. And then after that, when you're doing the zoom, you will find that that is a bar. Yeah. So after that bar, it will be the clear image zoom. For example, I go to there. So now is 20 times. So we can continue to zoom, and then you find that block. But anyway, you can see that the quality is still okay. Yeah. So this is already 40 times zoom, but the quality is, I mean, acceptable.
Yeah.
If you are shooting outside or you are shooting inside with a good lighting environment, the picture quality is actually quite good. Yeah. Although it is not optical, but the picture quality is accepting. Yeah. So you will find that the zoom can be very. Yeah. So this is the clear
kind
image
of facility.
Yes, correct. Sometimes because when you're shooting in some, for example, press, they already have an area for you to put the camera. You cannot move your camera, but maybe you can turn on these features, and then you can shoot more close to the object.
More tele,
Yeah, more tele, correct. Sometimes because of zoom power, you can so that, but you want to make a close-up, then it is not possible. But this image this technology can help with that. And then we have all other cameras. So if you are finding a professional camera, I think we have many choices. No problem. Don't need the broadcasting quality. So we have this kind of a professional camcorder as well. So we have a lot of camcorder, but I don't go to very detailed one by one because it will take a long time. But we still want to have a very quick about each camcorder so that you have a very roughly understanding what is this. So I think among these all camcorder, this one is the toppest one. So we have today, it is a PixW FS7 Mark II. This camcorder actually is the brother of the FS7. We are also selling, but they have a more some kind of new features. For the customer who doesn't know that, this is an interchangeable lens, so you can change your lens if you need it. And then we are using the E-mount. So using the E-mount have the advantage is some customers maybe they have a lot of EF lens. For example, you are the fans of Canon. But for the E-mount, the advantage is with the adapter, basically we can using every brand of other lens. So you don't need to sacrifice. So you can still using your lens, but with our body is also possible. And then we have new features in the FS7 Mark II, comparing to the FS7 before. So we have a variable anti-filter. So the variable anti-filter means you can change the anti-filter value more precisely. Because in the professional camcorder, traditionally, maybe you have the anti-filter, but the anti-filter value is fixed. So maybe you have 4 stop, maybe this is a 1/4, 1/16, or 1/16/4. But for the variable anti-filter, actually we can change the value more precisely from 1/4 to 1/128. So in case you are shooting outside, for example, in Nepal, sometimes in the summer it's very, good sunshine. You are shooting, maybe there is overexposure. You want to reduce the light, you will turn on the anti-filter. When you turn on the anti-filter, sometimes the value is, if you are setting precisely, it cannot be adjusted. Maybe you need to sacrifice the iris. But with this kind of a variable anti-filter, you can precisely control about your anti-value. So you can have more flexibility to shooting something very light. And then we also have the auto variable anti-filter, so that you can have more choices for you. You are not talking about only the iris or shutter speed. You can using the anti-filter to adjust your exposure more easily. So this is also a very good feature. So this is a 4K camera. We can recording the 4K 60p. And then we also have an optional kit so that you can add on. If you, for example, you want to shoot the ProRes or other formats, you can also with this kind of optional adapter can make it possible. So we have another large format sensor camcorder. It's called the FS5. So this one is actually very small one and also very light. If you are to take off the lens or everything, this is just around 1.8 kilogram. It is very light. Even though you are putting on those kind of dome, it is also possible. And then it is also can shooting the 4K using the Super 35mm sensor. And also you can exchange lens. And then no matter the handle, no matter the hand grip, you can also take it out. So you will have more flexibility when you are shooting in different angle or different area. And then it's also very light. Maybe you can also try later. And then for this, we also have a high film rate, so that for Full HD resolution, you can recording up to 240 frames per second. So if you want to have a slow-mo, which with a very light quality, then this is a good, choices. And then I think in the market, one of the trends we start to talk is talking about HDR. So this camcorder, with the latest firmware, we are supporting the HLG HDR as well, so that you can using this camera to shoot some HDR footage without difficulties. This is another good thing. And then we have the X200, but I think today we don't bring the X200. Yeah, so but we still talk about that. X200 is a very good camera when you are shooting some kind of a program or documentary. It is quite small, and then they're using the half-inch sensor. Half-inch sensor is very unique of Sony. You don't find any other brand is making the half-inch sensor. The picture quality is very good with the 3 chips. And then we also supporting different format, especially.
लागि चाहिँ यसपालि पनि हामी हुन त यसपालि हामी फेब्रुअरीमा मात्र गरेको थियौँ, फेरि अहिले सुरु गरेको छौँ ताकि तपाईँहरूलाई चाहिँ यो प्रडक्टको बिजनेसहरू बढी जानकारी गराउनुको लागि र नयाँ नयाँ प्रडक्टहरूको जानकारीको लागि. So for this product, so I would like to introduce our guest, Mr. Steven. He's from Sony Hong Kong, and Jordan, Sony Singapore, Jeffrey, Sony Singapore, our partner, Singapore office partner, and for this event, Baudev sir, he is a photographer association chairperson. He also supported us for this event. So at first, I would like to explain about my company details. Soito Nepal, we are having 2 companies, Soito Nepal and Smart Enterprises, doing this professional business. We started from 1999 as a IT company, starting selling IT equipments, all those accessories. And we focused the broadcast business from 2003 onwards, starting because from 2003 onwards, when in our market, the private TV channel started this broadcast business. So we slowly focused our business in broadcast also from 2003 onwards. So then after, in 2004-05, we have done a few projects, Nepal project during that time. Then we associated with Sohito Singapore to become our one single company as a Sohito brand name, and we registered the company as a Sohito Nepal in 2000, officially registered in 2006. Now we have a Sohito Singapore, Sohito Thailand, Sohito Cambodia, Sohito Sri Lanka. We have a group of companies together in the Asia Pacific region, same brand, same name. So then after, our main objective having Sohito branding in this region is to share more technology, to share the products, new products in our market, because in our province, in our region, we don't have such a broadcast show like in Singapore or in India. We don't have such huge programs in Nepal. So our main objective is to familiarize the customers about this product and give solution as per their budget. So to meet this type of objective, from 2006 onwards, we started organizing this type of events every year. From 2006 and 2008 onwards, every year we are organizing this type of Sony product show, trainings, different types of workshops. We are doing this organizing. So we have total solutions. For the broadcasters, cinematographers, all those productions house, we have total solutions. So we are associated with a few of these companies. Not apart from Sony, we are associated with a few other broadcast brand companies for this market.